Welcome to the audio shelf, a place where great books are not just read, they are experienced. Here, powerful ideas are transformed into immersive audio journeys, so you can learn, reflect, and grow anytime, anywhere. Find a quiet moment, put on your headphones, and let the wisdom begin. In today's fast-moving world, stress has become a silent companion. Deadlines chase us, expectations weigh us down, and somewhere along the way, many people begin to doubt themselves. We live in an age of endless information, yet inner peace feels increasingly rare. Anxiety, fear, and negative thinking quietly drain our energy, often without us realizing it. But what if the greatest power you will ever need is already within you? This is the central idea behind the power of positive thinking, a timeless classic by Norman Vincent Peale. First published in the early 1950s, as this book continues to inspire millions because human struggles haven't changed. Only the world around us has. Peale believed that your thoughts are not passive. They are active forces that shape your confidence, your health, your relationships, and your success. What you think about consistently, you eventually become. Positive thinking, as Peale explains, is not blind optimism or ignoring reality. It is a mental discipline, the ability to choose faith over fear, confidence over doubt, and hope over worry. Your mind can either be your greatest enemy or your most powerful ally. When your thoughts are filled with fear, you hesitate. When they are filled with confidence, you act. And when your mind is calm and focused, life begins to flow instead of resist. Norman Vincent Peale combined psychology, spirituality, and real-life stories to show that belief is not weakness, it is strength. Faith, according to him, is not just religious. It is the deep inner certainty that you are capable, you are supported, and you are never powerless. Throughout this audiobook summary, you will discover how to break free from negative thinking patterns, how faith and belief can calm anxiety, and fear, how to build unshakable confidence from within, and how small mental shifts can lead to powerful life changes. This is not a book about becoming someone else. It is about unlocking the strength you already possess. As you listen, allow these ideas to gently reshape the way you think about yourself, about challenges, and about what's truly possible. Because once you change the way you think, you change the way you live. The birth of positive thinking. To understand the power of positive thinking, we must first understand why it was needed. When Norman Vincent Peale wrote this book, the world was recovering from deep emotional wounds. War, economic struggle, uncertainty, and fear had shaped an entire generation. People were rebuilding their lives, but many had lost belief in themselves. Yet Peale noticed something remarkable. He saw that failure was not always caused by lack of talent, intelligence, or opportunity. More often, it was caused by something invisible, a mindset shaped by fear, doubt, and hopelessness. People didn't fail because they couldn't succeed. They failed because they expected to fail. This observation became the foundation of Peale's philosophy. He believed that negative thinking weakens human potential. It drains energy, blocks creativity, and convinces capable people to settle for less than they deserve. On the other hand, when the mind is trained to think positively, when it is filled with faith, confidence, and constructive thoughts, the same person begins to act differently. They speak differently. They decide differently. And slowly, their results begin to change. Positive thinking, as Peale introduced it, was not a motivational trend. It was a practical solution to emotional exhaustion. He taught that worry and fear are habits, and just like any habit, they can be unlearned. At the heart of his message was a simple but powerful idea. Your mind believes what you tell it repeatedly. If you tell yourself you are weak, the mind accepts it. If you tell yourself you are capable, the mind begins to support that belief. Peale drew inspiration from psychology, personal counseling, and spiritual teachings. But what made his work unique was its simplicity. He spoke to ordinary people, workers, students, parents, business owners, people who wanted peace of mind, confidence, and hope. He did not promise instant success. Instead, he promised something far more valuable: inner strength. Strength to face challenges calmly. Strength to rise after failure. Strength to trust that life can work in your favor. This was the birth of positive thinking, not as a theory, but as a daily mental practice. A practice that begins with awareness. Awareness of the thoughts you allowed to live in your mind. Because the moment you become aware of your thinking, you gain the power to change it. And once your thinking changes, everything else begins to follow. Believe in yourself, the foundation of success. At the heart of every achievement, every breakthrough, every victory, there's one quiet but powerful force: self-belief. Norman Vincent Peale believed that belief in yourself is the starting point of all success. Not intelligence, not talent, not luck. Because without self-belief, even the most capable person hesitates. You may have skills, you may have opportunities, but if deep inside you doubt your worth or ability, your actions will always fall short of your potential. Peale observed this again and again in people from all walks of life. Those who lacked confidence often appeared tense, unsure, and restrained, even when they had everything they needed to succeed. And those who believed in themselves, they moved forward with calm assurance. They made decisions with clarity. They inspired confidence in others simply by trusting themselves. Self-belief, Peale explained, is not arrogance. It is not pretending to be perfect. It is the quiet conviction that you are capable of growth, that you can learn, improve, and overcome. Doubt weakens action. Belief strengthens it. When you believe in yourself, your mind works with you, not against you. It looks for solutions instead of obstacles. It fuels courage instead of fear. Peale taught a simple but powerful truth. You become what you believe about yourself. If you constantly tell yourself you are inadequate, your mind accepts it as a fact. But when you affirm confidence, even before results appear, your mind begins to align with that belief. This is why Peale placed such importance on affirmations. Short, positive statements repeated daily. Not to deceive the mind, but to train it. Statements like, I believe in myself and my abilities. I am calm, confident, and capable. With faith and effort, I can overcome any challenge. Repeated consistently, these thoughts reshape self-image. Peale also emphasized the importance of faith in strengthening self-belief. Faith acts as a mental anchor during moments of uncertainty. It reminds you that you are not facing life alone. When fear arises, faith quiets it. When doubt whispers, faith answers with calm assurance. One of Peale's most powerful teachings was this: act as if you have faith, and faith will be given to you. Confidence grows through action, not waiting until fear disappears, but moving forward despite it. The more you act with confidence, the more real confidence becomes. This is why self-belief is the foundation of success. Because every achievement begins first as a belief in the mind. Before success appears in your life, it must first appear in your thinking. As you continue listening, remember this: you are stronger than you think, more capable than you believe. And once you truly trust yourself, your potential begins to unfold naturally. Thoughts are powerful forces. Every moment of your life is shaped by a quiet, unseen influence. It is not your circumstances. It is not other people. It is your thoughts. Norman Vincent Peale believed that thoughts are not weak or harmless. They are powerful forces, constantly shaping your actions, emotions, and outcomes. A single thought, repeated often enough, becomes a belief. And a belief, acted upon daily, becomes a way of life. This is why two people can face the same situation, yet experience completely different results. One sees opportunity, The other sees defeat. The difference is not intelligence. It is thinking. Peale explained that the human mind works through repetition. Whatever thoughts you allow to occupy your mind regularly, fearful or confident, hopeful or doubtful, your subconscious accepts them as truth. And once accepted, your mind begins to act on them automatically. Negative thoughts create inner resistance. They weaken enthusiasm. They drain courage before action even begins. Positive thoughts, on the other hand, energize the mind. They inspire initiative. They open pathways where none seemed to exist before. Peale taught that you must take responsibility for your thinking. Not every thought deserves a place in your mind. Just because a negative thought appears does not mean it must stay. One of his most practical techniques was thought replacement. The moment a negative thought enters your mind, replace it immediately with a constructive one. Fear becomes faith. Doubt becomes confidence. Worry becomes trust. This simple mental shift, practiced daily, begins to transform inner dialogue. Visualization was another powerful tool Peale encouraged. By mentally picturing success, calmness, and confidence, you condition the mind to move toward those outcomes. The mind responds strongly to images. When you repeatedly imagine positive results, your behavior naturally aligns with that vision. Peale often said, the mind can be trained to believe in success. Your subconscious does not distinguish between imagined experiences and real ones. It responds to what is consistently impressed upon it. This is why affirmations and visualization work so effectively together. Positive thinking is not denial of problems. It is the belief that solutions exist and that you are capable of finding them. When your thoughts are disciplined and constructive, you gain emotional stability. You respond instead of reacting. You remain calm in situations that once caused fear. This inner strength does not appear overnight. It is built through daily mental practice. Every positive thought strengthens you. Every negative thought you reject restores your power. Remember this. Your thoughts are shaping your future right now. Choose them carefully, because once your thinking changes, your life begins to follow. Faith as a source of inner strength. In moments of uncertainty, when fear rises and confidence begins to fade, there is one inner force that restores balance. Faith. Norman Vincent Peale viewed faith not merely as a religious idea, but as a deep inner trust. Trust in life, trust in purpose, and trust in your own ability to move forward. Faith, he believed, is a powerful antidote to fear. When the mind is filled with faith, there is less room for anxiety, less room for worry, less room for doubt. Fear weakens the mind. Faith strengthens it. Peale taught that many emotional struggles, stress, tension, insecurity, are not caused by circumstances, but by a lack of inner reassurance. Faith provides that reassurance. It allows you to face challenges with calm confidence, even when outcomes are uncertain. It reminds you that you are not alone in your efforts. One of Peale's most important teachings was this: faith releases inner power. When you believe that help, guidance, and strength are available to you, your mind stops panicking and starts cooperating. This cooperation between faith and thinking creates emotional stability. Peale encouraged people to turn inward during moments of stress, not to escape reality, but to reconnect with inner strength. Through prayer, reflection, or quiet contemplation, the mind becomes calmer, clearer, and more focused. Faith slows racing thoughts. It restores emotional balance. It replaces panic with peace. Another key idea Peale shared was the importance of trusting outcomes. Not every step must be clear before you move forward. Faith allows action even when certainty is absent. When you act with faith, confidence grows naturally. Peale often reminded readers that faith is strengthened through practice, not perfection. Each time you choose trust over fear, your inner strength increases. Each time you refuse to give in to worry, You reinforce calm confidence. Faith does not remove problems from life, but it changes how you respond to them. With faith, setbacks become lessons. Delays become preparation. Challenges become opportunities for growth. This is why faith is not weakness. It is emotional courage. As you continue listening, remember this. You do not need to control everything to move forward. You only need inner faith to take the next step. And when faith guides your thoughts, inner strength becomes your natural state. Overcoming fear, worry, and anxiety. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions the human mind experiences. It can protect us, but when uncontrolled, it can also imprison us. Norman Vincent Peale believed that fear is the greatest enemy of inner peace. It weakens confidence, it clouds judgment, and it drains emotional and physical energy. Worry, Peale explained, is simply fear stretched over time. It is the habit of imagining negative outcomes, again and again, until the mind becomes exhausted. An anxious mind is never fully present. It lives either in past regrets or in future fears. Peale taught that fear does not disappear on its own. It must be actively replaced. The first step in overcoming fear is recognizing this truth. Most fears are created by thought, not reality. They are imagined scenarios, not actual events. And because they are created by thought, they can be dissolved by thought. Peale encouraged a simple mental practice. Refuse to dwell on fear. The moment a fearful thought appears, do not analyze it. Do not argue with it. Replace it. Replace fear with calm affirmation. Statements such as, I am safe and supported. I face this situation with calm confidence. Fear has no power over my mind. Repeated slowly and sincerely. These affirmations interrupt anxiety's momentum. Peale also emphasized relaxation as a powerful antidote to worry. Fear tightens the body. It accelerates the mind. Relaxation reverses this process. Through slow breathing, quiet reflection, or prayer, the nervous system begins to calm. And when the body relaxes, the mind follows. Another powerful method Peale taught was faith-based release. Instead of carrying every burden alone, he encouraged people to mentally release their worries, to place them in the hands of a higher power. This act of surrender does not mean giving up. It means letting go of emotional overload. Worry often comes from trying to control what cannot be controlled. Faith restores balance by reminding you that not everything depends on you. Peale also warned against mental overexertion. Constant tension weakens resilience. He believed that peace of mind is not found in constant struggle, but in calm persistence. Fear loses strength when faced calmly. Anxiety weakens when met with trust. Each time you refuse to panic, you reclaim inner authority. Each calm response builds emotional resilience. Overcoming fear is not about eliminating challenges. It is about changing your relationship with them. When fear arises, meet it with faith. When worry returns, replace it with calm thought. And slowly, the mind learns a new habit. Peace. Peace of mind, the secret to true power. In a world that constantly demands attention, where noise, pressure, and urgency compete for your focus, peace of mind has become rare. Yet Norman Vincent Peale believed that peace of mind is not weakness. It is true power. A calm mind thinks clearly. It decides wisely. And it responds with strength instead of impulse. Peale taught that many people confuse tension with productivity. They believe that constant stress means progress. But in reality, tension drains energy and clouds judgment. Peace of mind, on the other hand, restores clarity. When the mind is calm, you are no longer overwhelmed by circumstances. You begin to see solutions where panic once existed. Peale explained that peace does not come from avoiding problems. It comes from changing your inner response to them. Outer conditions may remain uncertain, but inner calm creates stability. One of his most powerful teachings was this: a peaceful mind is a powerful mind. Anger, resentment, and emotional agitation weaken mental strength. They consume energy that could be used for creativity and growth. Peale encouraged releasing these emotional burdens, not for others, but for your own peace. Forgiveness, he taught, is not approval. It is emotional freedom. When you let go of resentment, the mind relaxes, and peace naturally follows. Another key to peace of mind is trust. Trust that you are doing your best. Trust that solutions will appear. Trust that life is not working against you. This trust reduces mental strain and allows you to move forward with quiet confidence. Peale also emphasized mental rest. Just as the body needs sleep, the mind needs moments of stillness. Through prayer, meditation, or silent reflection, the mind resets. In stillness, clarity returns. In quiet moments, strength is restored. Peace of mind does not make you passive. It makes you effective. Decisions made in calmness are stronger than those made in stress. As you practice peace daily, you begin to carry it into every situation: work, relationships, and challenges. And slowly, you discover a powerful truth. When your mind is peaceful, nothing external has the power to disturb you deeply. The power of prayer and meditation. In the midst of noise, pressure, and constant mental activity, the mind longs for stillness. Norman Vincent Peale believed that prayer and meditation are not escapes from life. They are ways to restore inner balance. When the mind becomes overwhelmed, it loses clarity. Thoughts race. Emotions intensify. Prayer and meditation slow this process. They create a quiet space where the mind can breathe. Peale described prayer as a conversation with strength, a moment where fear is replaced by trust, and tension is replaced by reassurance. Prayer, he taught, is not about asking endlessly. It is about receiving calm. When you pray with sincerity, the mind relaxes, and in relaxation, emotional healing begins. Meditation, on the other hand, is the art of listening. Listening to silence. Listening to inner awareness. Listening to the calm beneath the noise. Peale encouraged simple meditation practices. No complicated techniques, just quiet focus. A single positive phrase. A calm breath. A moment of stillness. Repeated daily. These moments retrain the nervous system. Prayer strengthens belief. Meditation strengthens awareness. Together, they build emotional resilience. Peale often reminded readers that repetition builds faith. A thought repeated during prayer slowly becomes a belief. A belief repeated during meditation becomes inner certainty. This is why short affirmations are so powerful. When combined with quiet reflection, statements like, "I am calm and at peace. Strength flows through me. I trust the process of life." Spoken slowly, felt deeply. These words calm the mind. Prayer and meditation also release mental burdens. When worries are consciously set aside, the mind stops carrying unnecessary weight. Clarity returns. Focus improves. Energy is restored. Peale believed that inner power flows through quiet minds, not through constant effort, but through calm awareness. As you practice prayer and meditation regularly, you begin to respond instead of react. You think clearly even under pressure. And over time, peace becomes a natural state, not a temporary escape. Expect the best. Train your mind for success. Every outcome begins as an expectation. Long before success appears in your life, it first appears in your mind. Norman Vincent Peale believed that expectation is a powerful force. What you consistently expect, you subconsciously prepare for. When you expect failure, you hesitate, you hold back, you act with doubt. But when you expect positive results, your mind aligns with opportunity. Peale taught that confidence grows from positive expectation. Expectation shapes attitude. Attitude shapes action. And action shapes results. This is why hopeful people often succeed. Not because life is easier for them, but because they approach challenges with belief instead of fear. Peale encouraged readers to mentally rehearse success. Before an important conversation, imagine calm confidence. Before a challenge, visualize effective action. The mind responds to mental rehearsal, as if it were real experience. When success is repeatedly imagined, the subconscious begins to accept it as possible, even likely. Peale also warned against negative expectation. Expecting problems invites tension. Expecting failure weakens effort. This does not mean denying difficulties. It means believing that solutions will appear. Positive expectation does not guarantee easy paths, but it strengthens perseverance. Another key idea Peale shared was the power of acting as if. Act as if you are confident, and confidence grows. Act as if success is possible, and your actions begin to reflect that belief. Confidence is often the result of action, not the cause. The more you practice expecting the best, the more natural optimism becomes. Peale emphasized that expectation must be reinforced daily, through affirmations, through visualization, through conscious thought selection. Statements such as, "I expect positive outcomes. I approach today with confidence. I am prepared to succeed." These thoughts, repeated consistently, reshape mental patterns. Training the mind for success is not a one-time effort. It is a daily discipline. Each positive expectation strengthens belief. Each belief strengthens action. And slowly, success becomes less of a struggle and more of a natural progression. Remember this. Life often responds to the attitude you bring to it. Expect the best, and you invite your mind to rise to that expectation. Breaking the habit of negative thinking. Negative thinking is not a personality trait. It is a habit. And like all habits, it can be changed. Norman Vincent Peale believed that many people are not defeated by life. They are defeated by the thought patterns they repeat daily. The mind learns through repetition. Whatever thoughts are allowed to return again and again, become familiar, and eventually automatic. This is how negative thinking takes root. Doubt repeated becomes belief. Fear repeated becomes expectation. Worry repeated becomes a way of life. Peale taught that the first step in breaking negative thinking is awareness. You cannot change what you do not notice. Begin by observing your thoughts, without judgment, without frustration. Simply notice when negativity appears. The moment you become aware of a negative thought, you interrupt its power. The second step is refusal. You are not obligated to accept every thought that enters your mind. Peale encouraged a firm but calm mental response. This thought does not serve me. Then comes replacement. Every negative thought must be replaced with a constructive one. Not ignored, not suppressed, replaced. Fear is replaced with faith, doubt with confidence, hopelessness with expectation. This is what Peale called mental discipline. One of his most effective tools was the use of short affirmations. Simple, believable statements repeated throughout the day. Statements such as, "I choose calm, confident thinking. My mind supports my success. Negative thoughts have no authority over me." Spoken slowly and sincerely, these affirmations reshape inner dialogue. Peale also emphasized the importance of mental environment. What you listen to, what you read, who you spend time with. Constant exposure to negativity strengthens negative thinking. Positive input restores balance. Breaking negative habits requires patience. The mind may resist at first. Old patterns do not disappear instantly. But each time you replace a negative thought, you weaken the habit. Each calm correction strengthens new thinking. Over time, the mind begins to default to positivity. Not forced optimism, but realistic confidence. And as negative thinking fades, energy returns. Clarity improves. inner peace grows. Remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the one who chooses them. And once you master that choice, your life begins to change naturally. Positive thinking in daily life. Positive thinking becomes truly powerful when it moves beyond ideas and enters daily life. Norman Vincent Peale believed that the value of positive thinking is measured not in theory, but in practice. It is how you speak to yourself in the morning, how you respond to pressure at work, how you treat others during conflict, and how you face uncertainty. In daily life, challenges are unavoidable, but your attitude toward them is always a choice. At work, positive thinking builds confidence and clarity. Instead of focusing on fear of failure, you focus on preparation and effort. Calm confidence improves communication. It inspires trust, and it increases effectiveness. In relationships, positive thinking encourages understanding. It replaces reaction with response, judgment with patience. Peale taught that a peaceful attitude often resolves conflict before words are even spoken. When you approach others with goodwill, tension dissolves naturally. Positive thinking also plays a powerful role in health and well-being. A calm, optimistic mind supports the body. Stress weakens resilience. Peace strengthens it. Peale did not suggest ignoring medical care, but he emphasized the mind's influence on healing and vitality. Restful thoughts encourage restful bodies. In moments of pressure, positive thinking allows you to pause. Instead of reacting impulsively, you respond with clarity. This pause creates emotional strength. Peale also encouraged carrying affirmations into everyday moments, not only during meditation or prayer, but while working, walking, or waiting. Simple reminders such as, I handle this calmly. I choose confidence over fear. This moment is manageable. These thoughts, repeated quietly, keep the mind balanced. Positive thinking is not constant happiness. It is emotional steadiness. It allows you to experience life fully, without being overwhelmed by it. Over time, this steadiness becomes your natural state. Challenges feel lighter. Decisions feel clearer. Life feels more manageable. This is the quiet power of positive thinking in daily life. Not dramatic transformation, but consistent inner strength. Real stories of transformation. Ideas inspire us thought, but stories remind us what is possible. Norman Vincent Peale believed that real transformation is best understood through real lives. Throughout his work, he shared stories of ordinary people. People burdened by fear, doubt, and discouragement, who discovered inner strength through positive thinking. These were not extraordinary individuals. They were people like you and me. One story tells of a man overwhelmed by failure. Repeated setbacks had convinced him that success was no longer possible. He carried this belief into every decision, and failure followed him everywhere. Through simple daily affirmations and renewed faith, he slowly replaced defeat with confidence. He began to act differently, to speak differently, to expect better. And as his mindset changed, his circumstances followed. Another story speaks of a woman consumed by worry. Her thoughts were constantly focused on what could go wrong. Anxiety controlled her days and stole her peace. By practicing calm prayer and conscious thought replacement, she learned to release fear. Her mind gradually quieted, and peace returned, not all at once, but steadily. Peale also shared stories of professionals who struggled not with ability, but with self-doubt. When they learned to trust themselves, their confidence grew, their work improved, and recognition followed. The common thread in every story was not luck, not sudden opportunity. It was inner change. These individuals did not escape challenges. They learned how to meet them differently. Peale emphasized that transformation is often subtle. There is no single dramatic moment, no instant breakthrough. Instead, change happens through daily choices. A calm thought replacing a fearful one. A confident action replacing hesitation. These stories remind us that positive thinking is not theory. It is a lived experience. When belief changes, behavior follows. And when behavior changes, life responds. Perhaps the most powerful lesson from these stories is this: you do not need to become someone else to change your life. You only need to change the way you think about yourself and your possibilities. Because the same power that transformed their lives is available to you right now. Daily practices for a positive life. Positive thinking becomes lasting when it is practiced daily. Norman Vincent Peale believed that the mind, like the body, is shaped by routine. What you practice consistently becomes natural. A positive life is not built in moments of inspiration, but in simple daily habits. Each morning offers a new beginning. The thoughts you choose at the start of the day set the tone for everything that follows. Peale encouraged beginning each day with a few moments of calm reflection. Before engaging with the world, center your thoughts. A short affirmation, a quiet prayer, a calm breath. Simple statements such as, "Today, I choose peace. I move through this day with confidence. I trust myself and the process of life." These thoughts anchor the mind. Throughout the day, Peale advised maintaining awareness of mental state. When tension appears, pause, breathe slowly, release urgency. This pause prevents stress from accumulating. Positive thinking is strengthened through mental breaks, brief moments of stillness that reset emotional balance. In the evening, reflection completes the cycle. Peale encouraged reviewing the day with kindness, not judgment. Notice what went well. Acknowledge effort. Release what did not. Gratitude is a powerful daily practice. It shifts focus from what is lacking to what is present. Even small moments of gratitude restore perspective. Peale also emphasized consistency over intensity. A few minutes each day is more effective than long practices done rarely. The mind responds to repetition. Through steady practice, positive thinking becomes automatic. Fear weakens. Confidence strengthens. Peace becomes familiar. These daily practices do not remove life's challenges. They prepare you to face them calmly. And over time, you realize something quietly powerful. You are no longer reacting to life. You are guiding it. Key lessons and life principles. As we near the conclusion of this journey, it is important to pause and reflect on the key lessons Norman Vincent Peale shared. Your thoughts shape your life. Every belief, every fear, every hope begins as a thought. By consciously choosing positive thoughts, you begin to shape the reality around you. Self-belief is the foundation of success. Without confidence in yourself, even talent and opportunity can fall short. Believe in your abilities, and others will begin to believe in you. Faith unlocks inner strength. Faith is not passive. It is the steady trust that empowers the mind to overcome fear and doubt. Fear and worry are habits. They can be recognized, interrupted, and replaced. Your mind is stronger than your fear. Peace of mind is true power. Calmness allows clear thinking, better decisions, and emotional resilience. Stress weakens. Peace strengthens. Positive thinking is a daily practice. It is not a one-time event, but a habit cultivated through affirmations, reflection, and conscious thought. Action reinforces belief. Confidence grows through deliberate action, not waiting for fear to disappear. Transformation is subtle and steady. Real change does not happen overnight. It appears in the accumulation of small, intentional choices. Peale's teachings remind us that success, happiness, and inner peace are not gifts of circumstance. They are cultivated from within. As we close this audiobook summary, remember this simple truth. Your mind is your greatest asset. It is the lens through which you experience life, the engine that drives your decisions, and the source of your inner strength. Positive thinking is not a gimmick. It is not a fleeting feeling. It is a discipline, a conscious choice to shape your mind, and, through it, your life. Every day offers an opportunity to choose faith over fear, confidence over doubt, peace over tension, hope over worry. The journey of transformation is yours. It begins with awareness, continues with practice, and flourishes through perseverance. Carry these lessons into your daily life. Practice calm reflection. Replace negative thoughts. Affirm your strengths. And cultivate gratitude. And remember, every challenge is also an opportunity. Every setback is a chance to grow. Every moment is a chance to shape your mind and shape your life. As Norman Vincent Peale reminded us, once you train your mind to think positively, you unlock the power to live fully, to act boldly, and to create the life you truly desire. Thank you for spending this time with the audio shelf. If this audio added value to your life, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. It helps this shelf reach more listeners like you. Until next time, keep learning, keep reflecting, and keep growing. This is the audio shelf, where every story leaves you wiser.